There are so many cases in New York City and in New York State where landlords are abusing their tenants, leaving them without heat and leaving them without water. They allow their tenants to live in deplorable conditions, and it's completely against the law.
Housing is the biggest practice area at Legal Services NYC on the staff side, but unfortunately in the pro bono world in New York, it's never become a staple for law firm volunteers to take on. We've been working really hard over the last few years to change that.
Pro bono is critical. As lawyers, we have an obligation to help our society move forward. And the best way to do that in a city that we all love is to help those citizens who need our help the most. And when you're thinking about all of the many ways that low-income people need help, for me, I think housing is one of the most important areas of life that if you have a stable home, you can use that as a base to deal with almost all of your other challenges.
It's a serious crisis, especially in our city, where tenants are living in apartments that are in disrepair. Landlords aren't doing what they need to do to fix these places.
The day before it happens, I told them, it's gonna rain, will you please fix and seal everything? My grandkids, they couldn't come to see me because it wasn't safe to come to my apartment. Home is everything to me. It's supposed to be my heaven. It wasn't heaven. If it's not heaven, it had to be hell. So it was hell living in my apartment. I told my lawyer, that I have problems with the roof. And as soon as I told him that, the same day I had a call from management. The next day, a roofer came. I mean, just like that, right away.
Our client was a young woman and her partner. During the pandemic, they were quarantined at home in absolutely unfathomable living conditions. There was a rat infestation, there was mold that needed to be remediated, the floorboards were coming up, like you name it, and it was wrong with their apartment. We partnered with amazing, incredible partners at Legal Services NYC, housing attorneys who just did an excellent job of making us feel supported and giving us the tools to navigate a process we weren't familiar with. And we were able to very easily get a order for the landlord to fix the problems, and it was an incredibly rewarding process just to, in a short time, make such a meaningful difference.
The work that attorneys are doing with Legal Services and as employees at Legal Services, it's the most important work that we can do, particularly as we're currently living in this pandemic.
Our clients are incredibly resilient, and in working with our pro bono partners to bring these types of cases to go on the offense against bad landlords, they're really able to build a kind of tenant power amongst their neighbors and their community. And that's something that can have a real impact long after the resolution of a single proceeding.
New York is an extraordinary city, and it is built on the backs of a lot of outstanding people, but there's a great deal of inequity as well. And we want to make sure that rights are balanced. Economic growth does not often have to come at the expense of those who did build the city.
Thank you guys for your help. I feel like part of the family. I feel like, man, I had somebody to back me up, I had somebody that was looking out for me.